Hey everyone, welcome to another news breakdown for the man here on Soda Pop. Alright, as always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos, and today, obviously, we're going to be taking a look at everything that came out of the Kamen Rider Candy Toy news blog, but on top of that, we had some news that did not come from any sort of blog at all. We got some brand new stuff coming out for Shodo Super Bioman. So, this comes to us from a magazine. It's like a figure magazine. I forgot like the actual name of it, but this is our first look. This is our very first look at these guys, and I'm so excited to finally see these things. So let's take a closer look at everything and sort of break down the stuff that we can glean from this image. So far, Shodo Super has been good about not doing too many stickers on the figures themselves, but this time around, it does seem like there are some stickers in play. Now, early on, as I was discussing this with Josh and Malunis, we were noticing that, hey, maybe the chest pattern is done up in stickers, but I went back and looked, and it seems that there is, you know, a raised pattern on the chest on this CG model. So I don't believe that there are stickers on the chest. It might be tampo printing. I'm not 100% sure, or, you know, it definitely could be a sticker. It does not seem like we're getting those sort of sticker cuts in there, but we'll see. The main thing that I'm sort of seeing here in terms of stickers are on the cuffs of the boots and the gloves, just, you know, the ones that intersect with the rest of that limb. Those are foil. Those look like standard foil to me. I don't think there are any sort of vac metallized processes or chroming processes that Shodo has ever used, to my knowledge. And then also, it does seem like there's a fair amount of shine to the belt, so I do wonder if those are done up in stickers. Also, we have not gotten a blog post about this, like I said, and hopefully that's coming soon, and it will probably shed a light on what's going on with those details. Anyway, let's take a closer look at, you know, the figures individually. Here it's showing off that they will probably have like the myriad of hands that Shodo figures typically come with, or Shodo Super figures typically come with, excuse me. But hey, this looks good so far. You know what else looks good? The weapons. Now, this is a small, grainy image, so I can't quite make, you know, broad assumptions about these. But there are individual weapons here. Everyone's probably going to be getting one of each of the things that they're supposed to have. The swords, if you take a closer look at the 5 swords together, they do look colored. I really hope that's done in paint, and that is a larger surface area, so I think those have a high chance of being painted, but who knows? I don't want to get your hopes up if those are stickers. Also, it does seem like red and yellow are going to be getting their individual weapons. I'm not sure if that's red's individual weapon or if it's the sword, but, you know, like the standard sword everyone gets, but I think that might be his individual. Also, if you can sort of... So, Josh was telling me that he was able to see that this had a 7 on it, like the text somewhere said a 7 on it in terms of like a release date. So I do believe this comes out in July. This as well, this you can kind of see it a little bit clearer, the 7 there, right above the 7,500 yen that this is going to cost. So this is going to retail for 7,500 yen. And I'm not 100% sure if that includes tax or not, but do keep in mind that the initial Shodo Super Go-Go 5, that retailed for $82.50 on Premium Bandai, but that's with tax included, so I'm not 100% sure if this is tax included or not. Either way, it does seem maybe that this is going to be a cheaper set than Go-Go 5, and that makes sense because, you know, they do have fewer items, and you know what, I absolutely can't wait to see these on the shelf. Anyway, that is it for these guys. Let's take a look at what the Sodo blog actually gave us, and this week we have 01 stuff. We're back to 01 stuff. I mean, you know, we had to get to these eventually, and this is just one of those that had to happen. Because this was the final form of the, quote, main villain-ish, like, of the show, so I'm happy that they actually finally got to it, even though we're 5-6 waves into Shoto. Anyway, let's take a look. He's got, you know, a brand new molded belt, and a brand new molded head. He's obviously going to be having stickers on the eyes. Now, I know it's been a while since we've covered 0-1, but the mainstay for 0-1 was that they would typically paint the eyes for you. But, you know, we're here in Saber territory, and I don't think being in Saber territory has anything to do with it, but there's just more detail in these eyes that they wanted to get across. Even on this side of the eye too. Probably that sort of etched pattern there, like clawing into the eyes, is probably what made this a sticker. On top of that, they were able to add the extra compound eye effect onto this thing. Also, he's going to be coming with a weapon, and this is actually the attach arrow, but the progress key loaded version. Now, they made sure to note that this form of Hirobi never used a progress key inside the attach arrow. They fully admit that, and this is another situation where, you know, Toei or Bandai or whoever never told Shoto in time whether he would be using a weapon or not. And, you know, instead of what they typically do and give punchy fists, because, you know, this one's an open hold fist, instead of that, they decided, you know what, to complete the set, to complete the ones that we need for this attach arrow, or the variants of the attach arrow, we are going to put out the progress key loaded version. And make good on the promise that, or on the idea that they are the ones that are going to do the very small, minute variants and give you that that play possibility. So I definitely appreciate it. They didn't have to do it. It's a brand new mold, and they did it anyway. As always, Shoto knocking it out of the park. I really appreciate it each and every time. Anyway, yeah. So this image here. The one I showed you that does not have the standard punchy fist. It has the open hold fist. There is a 0-1 figure here. And this is not confirmed or anything. This is just speculation on my part. But Josh pointed out to me that out of all the images that they used of ARK Scorpion, out of all of his images, this is the only one with any sort of mention of progressing hopper. You know, the technical final form of 0-1. The one that we're always on about them trying to release in bluer colors. This might be the regular 0-1 figure, just as a stand-in for that. Oh, Realizing Hopper, that's the name. For Realizing Hopper. But it could be a Realizing Hopper release just being teased here. Like, you know, fly under the radar, we don't know. It sounds like something that Shoto would do, so definitely keep your eyes on this image and on this space. Maybe they'll finally actually do Realizing Hopper. I hope they do, just because I think it'd be really funny. But this might be Realizing Hopper. Not 100% sure, though. Probably isn't, but, you know. Shoto do things sometimes. Anyway, like I said, speculation. Let's move on to this very intricate, minute detail here. So, obviously, this ARK Scorpion is a slight remold of Ichigata, and in the initial Ichigata release, there were, you know, the silver stripes or the silver bands all across his armor. These were actually intended to have stripes on them to make it look like the cables, but during production, when they were trying to work out this design, they were trying to get the printing right, and every time they printed it, the lines wouldn't show up. So now that they were able to try again, they were able to go back and just brute force trial and error and make something happen. As you see, there are 2 dividing lines within each of these things, but they tried variants with, anywhere between 2 dividing lines or 5 dividing lines, and finally they ended with something that they were very happy with. And you know what? It's a small detail. It's one of the details that would have flown under the radar had the blog not pointed it out, and I definitely appreciate it, because they put so much work into something that we probably wouldn't notice nor care about too much, and it gives us this opportunity to really appreciate it. So, awesome stuff here. Anyway, that is it for ARK Scorpion, I believe. Let's move on to this. And spoilers for the stage show, this is Azu. This is Azu's stage show form. This marks pretty much the very first stage show suit that we have ever gotten in Shoto. Technically, the first stage show representation that we have ever gotten was the extra gun, the extra Phase gun that was added in with Tsukiyomi, because that was only ever used in the stage show. But for this is our first fully fledged stage show form, and G-Man wanted to thank or congratulate everyone in the surveys who were begging for this form to make its debut in Shoto. This is our time. That is why we should be filling out those surveys. Links in the description. So let's dive in further to this figure, and I mean, it's got a ton of stickers on this side of the head. I'm not quite sure how that really thin sticker is gonna work out on the side of the head. And I'm gonna razz this figure a little bit. Not to say that I'm not grateful that this thing exists, but the execution is a little not the best. So yeah, outside of that, I think the detailing looks really nice. The other side of the head actually does not need to be... Well, it was painted black, I think, is what the blog was saying, but it does look like they just did not paint there. Either way, it gets us a closer look at the red on the shoulder pad, and I don't know if we have a better look at it later, but the red on the shoulder pad here does not paint match well with the paint. Now, these are pre-production stickers. We don't know for sure if this is how the stickers are going to turn out, but it's not looking its absolute best here. Another thing is that this does not have accessories, so they decided to throw in some punchy fists here, which I guess is fine. Once again, or not once again, I haven't said it yet, but I did not watch the stage show, so I don't know what weapons she wields or anything, so this must be accurate. I'm not 100% sure. I don't even think Toei or Bandai told the Candy Toy team anyway, so, Anyway, let's take a closer look at the arms, though, because, oof, man, that sticker it's there. It's not the best. I get it. Like, they have a difficult time. They said it in the blog itself. They have a difficult time doing that white to red gradient with paint details. I get it. I understand why they did this. It doesn't look the absolute best, specifically since, like, they could not get those reds to really match, and it's a little disappointing, but once again, I'm not ungrateful. This is a really cool figure, and I'm glad they did it. Anyway, yeah, this is really neat. I don't know, I'm very happy that we get this stage show representation, that Azu gets a figure. I don't know, it's such a good time to be a Shoto fan. This is not, immune from criticism, but I am grateful that this thing exists. Anyway, that's not the only thing that exists in this blog, because we actually got something slightly surprising. Diago Speedy is just in Book 5. Oh, by the way, all of this is in Book 5. So all of this so far is being released in mainline with Diago Speedy, there's no mention of an EX set or an expanded set yet with King Arthur and or any of the other bikes. And, you know, I was once again talking to Malunis and Josh about this, but there have been no pre-orders for an EX set or anything of the like, so I don't know how we're going to be getting the Arthur or any of the other, you know, any of the other mech things or the mechanics things that we usually get in the subline for the last few years. So this goes back all the way to the Soto build years of doing things. Anyway, Diago Speedy, it looks pretty good. Another big thing about this guy is that there are no stickers. It says specifically on the box, stickers not included, or stickers not available. I'm not quite sure what the kanji says. But yeah, that's really neat. I guess it doesn't really have any minute details that you'd need to do in stickers. Also, this has a footrest. Now, you know, it's separate from the kickstand, but this footrest, this has not been present in any other Soto bike at all, except for the Go Ram. So basically what had happened was they thought that from toy safety standards that they would not be able to put this foot stand here, but when the Go Ram made it in the Chronicle line, and that one's aimed at an older audience, they were able to put that footrest in and then sort of figure out if that was durable enough for the 3 and up crowd, and it turns out that it was, and now we're just getting it. So that's another one of those Chronicle innovations that bled over into Soto Saber, and I really like it. I also really like that it has its own display stand. We haven't had that before for you know, like a dedicated display stand for this, but hey, we're here. I like it. I'm happy with it. Anyway, that is it for Book 5. This is everything we're getting in Book 5. And, like, they even had to extend the whole thing because of Decayed stickers. So this is basically Soto Kamen Rider Saber, Book 5, and Soto Kamen Rider 01 and Soto Kamen Rider Decayed. I think I mixed up the order of those last two. I'm not 100% sure, but they did note that this is the most chaotic wave of Soto ever. And I can't wait until the next wave, because you already know that Book 5 includes more Decade items, it includes a Shinkenger item, and technically, like very, very technically, the open Deca Driver has a Neo Deca Driver sticker, so you could technically put Geo, like Geo's name, in that wave. You could also throw in a 01 figure in there. I would like that. Make the name as long as possible. Just give it to me. I want that. I want that. Anyway, we had 3 reveals tonight. Or, you know, this weekend. So that means there are no Soto Saber book reveals next week, but next week there is going to be some extra stuff, because we actually got our breakdowns of the last of the Kamen Rider Gaim 2 Chronicle figures that are going to be coming out, I believe, very soon, like next week-ish. So with that, we have the our looks at Kachidoki, and he looks great. Things to note, we've got the standard quality paint here. Something big about this is that the back of the head is fully painted, and they are actually addressing this now. The other thing that they wanted to talk about with paint, like in regards to paint, are all of the details in let's talk about the chest first, actually, because it's not just that metallic orange. You have the gold central symbol, and every single rivet. Every single rivet is picked, well, almost every single rivet. You're missing about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're missing about 10 of them, but 33 of them, no wait, you're missing 12, but 33 of them are painted. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. So I love that. Another thing is, there's a brand new sort of joint situation going on with the side skirts. Basically, you sort of swivel it and move it out of the way. I appreciate it. This looks pretty nice. Another thing I appreciate is the Diago. This is one of my favorite weapons, so it's really cool to see here. It also pairs well with the holding hands. Now, these are meant to hold it at the, that portion of the blade, so you have that option here. Also, you are just going to have that sort of similar mold with the sonic arrows, so I guess they just sort of had to apply the hand guard to that mold, and now we have this. Also, he holds the flags, and I said this initially, like when we first saw this, the stickers did not look good, but it turns out that there is some molding to the flags, so they are sort of wavy. It's not just a flat thing, and I like that. I really appreciate the attention to, or at least the attempt to make it look really good. Anyway, that is it for Kachidoki Gaim. Let's take a look at Shin Zangetsu, and he once again has a lot of the things that they were talking about with Kachidoki. He's got all of the paint on the back of his head. All that's missing are those little elf ears. That orange is done in sticker, but that's completely fine. In terms of the chest, they were able to add both the melon pattern to his chest and the soda grains to the soda portions, and I really appreciate that. Another thing they did was they remolded the figure, because why would they leave this alone? I guess they had to remold it a tiny bit just to accommodate the new belt and the new look, and that's fine. We get a really good figure out of it. Also, he comes with all the same weapons that we saw before, or at least, the sonic arrows that we saw before. The closed and drawn back version, that's nothing too new. Outside of that, I do believe that's it for this week. It was pretty stuffed, but, this episode took 22 minutes, and time just flew by because there was a lot of really cool things. And like I said, next week it's only going to be CHRONICLE information. They did not specify that it was Gaim, but it's probably Gaim, so I don't know. Speculate in the comments down below what you think is going to be happening. And also, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the episode, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. There are, in the description, links to where you can get a little bit of Zenkaija merch that I designed myself. So go over there and check those out if you want them. Also, there are links in the description right near it on how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement by donating money, signing petitions, and watching videos. There's even a playlist at the end of this video that donates all the ad revenue to those videos to the Black Lives Matter movement. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Keep it. Oh, by the way, just a little housekeeping. Last week's episode of the Soda Pop Podcast, that should be coming up tomorrow. It's edited, it's done. I just didn't really feel like uploading it today, but it will get uploaded on time. Hopefully I can get Wednesday's episode out. Sorry for the delay.